Daily Mail, which is a tabloid publication in the UK, angered a lot of individuals, including men and women, because they featured Prime Minister Theresa May, British Prime Minister Theresa May, of course, and Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon with a questionable headline. So let's take a look at what it is, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so never mind Brexit. Who won Lexit?
Well, that's not even a thing. Lexit is not a thing. It's not even clever. Remember the last time someone mentioned Lexit?
Yeah.
No one does. All right, anyway.
Anyway, so of course people were like, oh, it's sexism. And of course there are people who disagree. One of those people who disagrees happens to be Theresa May. So what did she have to say about this?
It's a bit of fun, really.
Yeah.
And it turns out her press secretary used to work at the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Right, so she just says things like, okay, well, but if people want to have a bit of fun about how we dress, then so be it. So she seemed to kind of like brush her shoulders off and not really worry about it too much. But look, the cover is one thing. I actually think what's worse is the accompanying column written by a woman, Sarah Vine. Okay, so Sarah Vine writes about this and says, finest weapons at their command, those pins.
Oh, the British amuse me. Those pins. Okay, by the way, very important note here. They're talking about Brexit. So meaning, is the UK going to leave the European Union? How are they going to leave the European Union? What is the Scottish reaction to that? And Scotland might want to then exit the UK. That is tremendously important. And there's these two female leaders having that enormously important conversation. And we're talking about those pins.
No, it gets worse though, it gets worse, okay. But what stands out here, again, this is Sarah Vine writing, but what stands out here are the legs and the vast expanse on show.
On show, like as if they decided to put it on show.
Okay, May's famously long extremities are demurely arranged in her customary finishing school stance. Knees tightly together, calves at a flattering diagonal, feet neatly aligned. It's a studied pose that reminds us that for all her confidence, she is ever the vicar's daughter, always respectful and anxious not to put a foot wrong.
Or she didn't think about it at all, or her vicar dad, whatever that is. She was actually having a political meeting.
This is the most, look, more than anything, it's embarrassing. Like, I would be embarrassed if my name was tied to this article. I'd be embarrassed. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I don't care what your demographic is. It's just embarrassing because it's so incredibly trivial. And yes, there's the added negative of minimizing these female politicians to a set of legs. But just the fact that it's such a dumb article or column is what really gets to me.
And can I just say, former labor leader Ed Miliband had a great tweet. He said, the 1950s called and asked for their headline back.
Yeah. There's more. Sturgeon's shorter but undeniably more shapely shanks are altogether more flirty, tantalizingly crossed, with more dominant leg pointing toward her audience. What are you doing? What are you doing with your career? Look at your life. Look at your choices, Sarah Vine. Look at your life. Look at your choices. You've made terrible, terrible decisions. Okay. Terrible.
Okay, this talk of shanks reminds me of Austin Powers. Oh, she's pointing them delightfully towards us. No, she's not. She's just sitting there trying to have a political conversation. And she, in Sarah Vine's head, like she's like teasing and pointing with the shanks. What are you? You're nuts.
It's creepy. It's honestly creepy that's what's going through your mind as you see these two female leaders. Anyway.
Undeniably shapely shanks. Okay, and pointing towards her audience. No, they're not. She's just sitting. Sarah Vine's having all these thoughts inside her head that aren't remotely true. It's as if the women were like, oh, forget about Scottish separation or the Brexit. Okay, how shall I point my shanks and pins?
I don't know what else to say.
Vine continued with the shank talk. Quote, it's a direct attempt at seduction.
Oh my, okay. Here.
No, it's not. What, like maybe, I don't know what Sarah Vine's proclivities are, but she looked at that picture and got randy. She's like, whoa, oh, I think they're trying to seduce me. Oh my God, the shanks.
Sarah, life choices, take a look at them. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, the Shanks.
Shanks, but no Shanks.
Young Turks membership creates independent media.
Believe me.
No ads.
Believe me.
All the shows.
Believe me.
On demand.
Believe me.
Support independent media.
Believe me.
It's awesome, tremendous. You'll love it.
Believe me.
And by the end, you'll be thinking,
you know, I'm like a smart person.
tytnetwork.com/join.